Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Sarah Sanders hits CNN with a brutal zinger for protesting President Trump's Christmas party. President Trump wrote a few tweets that really got under CNN's skin. That is always fun to do. And as a result, CNN announced that they will be protesting Trump by not showing up to his Christmas party. Sarah Huckabee Sanders had the perfect comeback for this. Here are the tweets that made CNN so angry. Fox News is much more important in the United States than CNN, but outside of the US, CNN International is still a major source of fake news, and they represent our nation to the world very poorly. The outside world does not see the truth from them. Tweeted Trump. We should have a contest as to which of the networks, plus CNN and not including Fox, is the most dishonest, corrupt or distorted in its political coverage of your favorite president, me. They are all bad. Winner to receive the fake news trophy. Tweeted Trump. As a result, CNN released a statement. CNN will not be attending this year's White House Christmas party. In light of the president's continued attacks on freedom of the press and CNN, we do not feel it is appropriate to celebrate with him as his invited guests. We will send a White House reporting team to the event and report on it if news warrants, wrote CNN. Sarah Sanders had the perfect response. Christmas comes early. Finally, good news from CNN, she said in response to CNN. Awesome. Watch ultra-liberal Trevor Noah admit that President Trump is right about Elizabeth Warren. Ultra-liberal Daily Show host Trevor Noah does not like Donald Trump. However, even he was begrudgingly forced to admit that he is right about Elizabeth Warren. Trump has pointed out that Warren has pretended to be a Native American to get ahead in life, when in reality, there is no proof at all that she is a Native American. To point this out, Trump calls her Pocahontas. When Trump says Pocahontas, you might be thinking, wait Trevor, I'm confused, is Elizabeth Warren Native American? And you see, that's the question because, for a long time, she said she was, said Noah. Is Donald Trump racist? Yeah. But in his own way, he is hitting Elizabeth Warren for saying she is Native American when she wasn't. Elizabeth Warren did something problematic. So as weird as it is to say, in his own racially offensive way, Donald Trump is being woke. Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, the truth, said Noah. It wasn't easy for Noah to admit Trump was right. And he had to call Trump a racist, of course. But nonetheless, he admitted that President Trump is correct. Elizabeth Warren is a total fraud. It's nice to see even ultra-liberals are able to understand this. In 2012, The Atlantic called her out. Elizabeth Warren is not a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. Elizabeth Warren is not enrolled in the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And Elizabeth Warren is not one of the United Kituwa Band of Cherokee. Nor could she become one, even if she wanted to. Despite a nearly 3-week flap over her claim of being Native American, the progressive consumer advocate has been unable to point to evidence of Native heritage except for an unsubstantiated third-hand report that she might be 1/32 Cherokee, they wrote. Juanita Broaddrick exposes how Bill Clinton can still pay for all that he's done. Juanita Broaddrick has accused Bill Clinton of violently raping her decades ago. Although Clinton has not faced justice, Broaddrick reveals why she hasn't given up hope, and how Bill Clinton can still pay the price for what he's done. In the case of Bill Clinton, he's got a post-presidency. He's still paid, for instance, a presidential pension from the U.S. taxpayers. Are there things you'd like to see still done in his life that would affect him? Asked a Daily Caller reporter to Broaddrick. Oh yes. Everything that he's given as being a past president, with the exception of his Secret Service things. I think that all financial things that are given to him should be removed, Broderick responded. Bill Clinton is a horrible person, and so is Hillary. If people out there have allegations against him that have not been brought to the light of day, now is the time, said Broderick. Broderick is also pleased that after decades of ignoring her, the media is suddenly starting to take her allegations against Bill Clinton seriously. We're in a new era, and it's exciting, she said. Now that Bill Clinton is no longer a tool the Democrats can use, they are willing to speak up against him. Even if the reasons behind the media listening Broderick are fishy, if Broderick can finally be heard, it is a good thing. France's president loses it with Middle Eastern refugee, just told her to go back to your country. In their most recent presidential election, France had the choice between voting for a liberal candidate and a hard-right candidate, and they ended up voting for the liberal named Emmanuel Macron. Macron entered office with liberal ideals regarding how he was going to govern a country which is undergoing seismic shifts in its demographics and culture, owing to the influx of people from the Middle East, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa and elsewhere. However, it clearly seems as though President Macron has finally accepted the fact that he cannot embrace these outsiders with open, loving arms like he probably thought he could with the open borders policy he campaigned fought with. In a surprising turn of events, left-wing Macron was filmed telling a refugee from Morocco that she should return to her own country. Described the Daily Caller about the president's altercation with this young Moroccan woman. The woman said her parents lived in France and that she wanted to remain in the country, despite being out of status. Macron disregarded the woman's argument and asked her to leave France. Said President Macron to the angry refugee, translated from French, "If you are not in danger, you should go back to your country. You are not in danger in Morocco." When the refugee demanded to be able to stay in France, even though she did not have a valid visa, Macron shot back, "I cannot give French papers to everyone who doesn't have them. How would I deal with the people who are already here and can't find a job?" Are you glad liberal Macron is actually seeing the light about his country's big problem? Keep bending over like that, leaked footage reveals creepy things Matt Lauer said to Katie Couric. NBC host Matt Lauer was seen for a long time as something of a heartthrob or a sweetheart. It came as a great surprise to many viewers, then, that Lauer was fired by the network after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. The details of Lauer's behavior have started coming out, and they are genuinely creepy. A new behind-the-scenes video of Lauer in the Today Show cast just proved what a pervert Lauer is, even to his well-known female colleagues. In the video, which is from coverage of the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, Matt says to one of his employees who was identified as being Katie Couric, "Pretty sweater." He then added, "Keep bending over like that. It's a nice view." In another telling clip that was also just circulated, Couric went on Andy Cohen's show Watch What Happens Live, and host asked Katie to name Matt's most annoying habit. Couric replied, "He pinches me on the ass a lot." Other bizarre details of Lauer's unprofessional behavior at NBC have also been put out by Variety magazine. Stated their report about Lauer, his office was in a secluded space, and he had a button under his desk that allowed him to lock his door from the inside without getting up. This afforded him the assurance of privacy. It allowed him to welcome female employees and initiate inappropriate contact while knowing nobody could walk in on him, according to two women who were sexually harassed by Lauer. Are you glad Lauer got fired? Geraldo is in huge trouble with Fox News for what he said to defend Matt Lauer. Smarmy liberal NBC News on-air personality Matt Lauer claimed to be a defender of women. In class left-wing hypocrite fashion, he was proved instead to be a sex predator. When he was fired by NBC, however, His former colleague Geraldo Rivera came to his defense in a bizarre and poorly thought out way. Tweeted Fox News. Rivera, after word got out that Matt had been unceremoniously dumped by NBC, sad about it and later, great guy, highly skilled and empathetic guests and a real gentleman to my family and me. News is a flirty business, and it seems like current epidemic of #sex harassment allegations may be criminalizing courtship and conflating it predation. What about #Garrison Keillor? Rivera later added, a jerk's a jerk in dating. Sexual harassment should be confined to situations where superior imposes himself on subordinate who feels unable to complain because of power of perp or feared consequences to victims' employment. Shouldn't be used to get even bad bosses or hated exes. Rivera's defense of creepy liberal Lauer did not go over well with the public. Wrote one Twitter user in response, not sure having a remote door lock button on your office sex dungeon counts as flirting or courtship, but you're the media professional. Geraldo later issued an apology, boasting, reaction to my tweets today on #sex harassment makes clear. I didn't sufficiently explain that this is a horrendous problem. Long hidden harassers are deviants who deserve what is coming to them. Often victims are too frightened to come forward in a timely fashion. I humbly apologize. Rivera's employers at Fox News were not amused. Network executives wrote in a statement condemning what Geraldo said. Geraldo's tweets do not reflect the views of Fox News or its management. We were troubled by his comments and are addressing them with him. Do you think Geraldo should get fired for this? College now teaches students a class called White Racism. The professor claims it's not anti-white. It is sad how much hatred and racial division was stoked in the United States during the 8 disastrous years of Democrat Barack Obama's presidency. It is now being felt during the Trump era, with reverse racist bigots openly flaunting their anti-white views. Recently, one radical liberal professor named Dr. Ted Thornhill generated headlines for himself for a course he is teaching at Florida Gulf Coast University called White Racism. The sociology professor had the temerity to claim that his course is not anti-white. Stated Professor Thornhill to Fox News, he made the class to demonstrate that the U.S. has been and remains a white supremacist society. He also alleged that too many Americans, especially whites, are cocooned in a bubble of unreality as it concerns racial matters. Thornhill, who once again asserted that he is not a racist, went on, many whites have subscribed to and promoted racist ideologies, championed and or enacted scores of racist laws, policies, practices, and traditions, and made incalculable decisions in their daily lives that have operated to maintain white racial domination over blacks and other people of color for hundreds of years. Ted described the class as being anti-white racism. He stated, clearly, not all white people are racists, some are even anti-racist. He claimed, though, that all white people derive, in some measure, material and psychological benefits by virtue of being racialized as white. Do you think this class is racist?